Well, good morning, everyone. And on behalf of Procurement Australia, thank you for attending today's industry briefing. We're going to spend this time running through this contract. And I'd firstly like to introduce myself. My name's Alistair Hancock. I'm the procurement specialist who will be in charge of running this tender and the contract. And again, thank you all for coming. It's a strong showing. We also have a number of Procurement Australia staff on board to help answer any questions that you might have at the end. So firstly, why are we here? We're here today to inform you all about the defined facilities management services and products cleaning and property contract that we are putting to tender in March this year. We'll run through the contract summary, the tender, and then we'll ask you for your feedback, which is all important, and that's part of the reason we're here today. The agenda, we'll run through Procurement Australia, who we are, what we do, run through the contract, what it's all about, the various categories involved, and where you might be able to join in. The scope of the tender, the structure of the tender, how the tender process works, and once awards have been given, how to work under this contract. We'll also be able to give you a few hints on how to answer the tenders correctly, and give as much information as possible, which will help us to evaluate and award the contracts for this tender. At the end, there will be ample time for questions. You can also ask questions in the comment box up at the top right of the screen, and I'd ask that everyone just remains muted for the rest of the meeting, rest of the presentation, please. What are we looking for from you? The specification is in the process of being finalized. We do have that available for you to look through, but any feedback on its current content, and if you have any new components that you think should be added to it, we'd be more than welcome to hear your suggestions. Tender participation, how to participate in the tender and submit a good quality tender. That's all important when it comes to the evaluation stage. And if you can't participate, we'd like to know the reason why. Keeping in mind, more specific details that you provided is required when engaging your services, and you may need to provide quotes to any members under this deed. A quick run through who Procurement Australia are now and what we do. Our history: in 1985, we were commissioned as a buying group for 14 Melbourne municipal councils under the name MAPS Group. In 1995, Church Resources joined, which was established by the Catholic Church as a specialist aggregator for the not-for-profit sector. In 2005, the MAPS Group started trading as Procurement Australia. 2015, we changed Procurement Australia's constitution to allow for all services to be provided to all governments and industries as well as the local councils. In 2017, Church Resources became amalgamated into Procurement Australia and has been operating under that name. And today we have suppliers to access to a member base of 24,000 plus entities across Australia in the private, public and not-for-profit sectors, education, aged care, health, and church and religious institutions. We offer a number of services. We offer publicly tendered standing offer contracts. We do bespoke client contracts, advisory consulting, benchmarking, spend analysis, clustering and collaboration events, technical category expertise, and online trading facilities. We're also accredited with ISO, and we're audited annually to keep that accreditation going. So we make sure that everything we do is to the standards that would be expected by all our members and all of our suppliers. We offer a number of benefits to both members and suppliers. To our members, time and resource saving is one of the most important things. We can offer a large variety of contracts that they can all opt into or pre-commit to. So there's no need to run separate RFTs each time they need to start a new contract. As I said, our offering is very broad. We run many contracts. So those are all there available for our members at any time to look at and to be able to procure what they need to do. With regards to our contract arrangements, we have members that opt in that are pre-committed, and we also have members that can opt in afterwards. So those contracts are available throughout their running time to any and all of our members who see it as being an option for them. And we have a compliant process that we conduct, which again meets all those ISO standards and any international and Australian standards that we need to adhere to. So we're very strong on that. We need to make sure that we check that all the time, and we can provide that for our members. The benefits to our suppliers is that we run the RFTs on behalf of many members. So you won't be receiving a number of RFTs from a number of different members. We can combine that all into one. So again, it saves time for the suppliers and resources for the suppliers. We offer you access to all of our members. So we have 8,000 plus members, I think, on our website who can access that at any time. So there's a huge amount of people who can come and see what you do and opt in or pre-commit to any offerings that you have. Our sales team is constantly expanding our membership base. They're out and about all the time and can be contacted whenever questions need to be asked on that. And they constantly promote contracts to existing members. So if there's a new contract that comes up and if it applies to the members, the sales team are out there making sure that all of our members are aware of it, which is fantastic. Again, it offers a great range of potential business for them and for you. So a contract overview quickly. So this contract is defined facilities management, services and products, property and cleaning. The contract number is 2508-0844. And the term of this contract runs for 3 years initially, but we do also offer 2 12-month extensions to the contract. So it could potentially be a 5-year contract if those extensions are taken. The start date will be the 1st of September 2022, and the initial expiry date, 31st of August 2025. However, as mentioned before, that could run to 2027. The tender objectives for us, we want to deliver a compliant tender under Local Government Act, Section 186 and 55, consistent with the provisions of ISO 9001. Sorry, could I just ask that your microphones are muted, please? Thank you very much. We obtain an outcome that offers our members a panel of experienced contractors capable of providing the requirements. So when we go through the tenders, we look for experience. That's very important to make sure that you are the right suppliers for this job. We then provide a centrally managed standing offer contract that also allows RFQ activity at any time for specific member requirements so that they can add additional quotes to the tender once it has been finalized. The tender scope, this is still to be finalized, the categories. We're working off prior contracts and what was required then and what was offered also by the suppliers. So that's a brief overview, and then we'll go into the individual categories over the next few slides. So our subcategories, the first one we have is cleaning services. This is member-specific cleaning requirements. In our last contract that we ran for this, we had 9 specific members who required specific requirements. and we're looking at getting a similar amount this time around, which will be fantastic. Office and commercial cleaning, aged care, retirement cleaning, education cleaning, industrial cleaning, sports and leisure cleaning, and medical cleaning. So those are the basic cleaning services that we're looking for. We then look at the second subcategory, which is emergency cleaning. So there we're very much looking for availability 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for any emergencies, be them flood damage, sewerage overflow, emergency accidents, damages, etc., via any environmental accident or emergency that might happen. Our subcategory 1.3, aquatic pool center cleaning. So that involves poolside cleaning, floor services, clean and sanitize furniture, and toilets and change room cleaning. We also offer at 1.4 our garden and grounds maintenance. So that would be outdoor, horticulture services, irrigation services, landscape construction, parks and gardens, sporting grounds, turf services, and vegetation management. Subcategory 1.5 is office waste services. So paper, packaging, everyday rubbish, as it would be, food waste, green waste, e-waste, furniture disposal, recycling and co-mingling, and secure document destruction as well. All the services that you would want from someone who is coming in to clean your office. Washroom services, female hygiene, hand hygiene, washroom sanitizing, odor control, hand drying products, nappy disposal, urinal and WC sanitizers, and bacterial treatment. So these are the cleaning aspects of the contract, all under category 1. So they all fall under cleaning. Category 2 that we're moving into now is to do with the products for the cleaning and whether you provide those as a supplier as well. So category 2.1, generalized and specialized cleaning consumables. So washroom consumables, gloves, protective wear, PPE to an extent, brooms, brushware, and mops, equipment such as vacuums, steam cleaners, trolleys, bins, etc. 2.2 is generalized and specialized cleaning chemicals. So we're looking at glass cleaners, disinfectants, hand cleaners, dishwashing products, laundry powder, deodorizers, all-purpose cleaners, and kitchen cleaners. And our third and final subcategory in category 2 is specialized to aquatic center pool chemicals. So sanitizers and oxidizers, general maintenance, pool chemicals such as algicides, and specialty chemicals for the pools, and also any chemicals that would be involved in the cleaning and maintenance of spas. As mentioned, the draft specifications and the categories are still under review and yet to be finalized. However, if you would like a copy of the draft, we can provide that to you upon request and via my email. There will be, I will give you my contacts at the end of the presentation. So the close date for comments or suggestions is the 16th of February 2022, which is roughly 2 weeks before the tender is let. So within these comments that you might want to give to us are, would there be any other categories or subcategories that we would want to consider? This again, as I mentioned before, is working off the history, which has been a very successful contract for us. But we're always open to any suggestions there. The draft specifications, are they in line with industry standards, standard operating procedure, etc.? And if needs be, anything that we may have missed out, which would be applicable to Australian and international standards, should that be referenced? Should it be included in the specifications? These are all questions that we would like to ask you as specialist suppliers within this category. A brief overview of the evaluation and award. So as a supplier, you can tender for any category, or you can tender for all categories, or a combination of categories. Evaluation and awards will be on a category basis, so we won't be looking at your overall number of categories applied for. That will be done individually. And suppliers will be awarded by state or nationally. So we'll be asking in the returnable schedules where you can service, what areas, what states. A brief overview of the weighting scoring criteria is on the right-hand side here. So we have the compliance, which is a yes/no question. This is unweighted, but will have relevance to the award. So compliance with insurance, terms and conditions of the tender, and terms and conditions of the contract. We will then be looking at professional competence. This is a very important one. Do you have the experience? Do you have the appropriate quality practices, performance capability, and your customer focus? We're very heavily member focused at Procurement Australia, so customer focus is very important for us. Corporate governance and social responsibility goes through your, as you can see, corporate governance, social impact, environmental impact, workplace practices, OH&S, and Indigenous content is also taken into account. These again are important, especially when we're talking about a cleaning contract supplying chemicals and services that use those chemicals. And finally, we have the price element of the criteria. So that's a competitive price, how long you're going to be holding your payment terms, and how long you're going to be holding your price in place and the payment terms. Again, all of these are covered in the returnable schedules, so this is information that you'll be sending back to us to evaluate. So the tender structure, part A is information for tenderers. This runs through the information of the contract, the specific details, as mentioned before, the timeline, the categories, etc. Part B is the conditions of the tendering. Part C is the deed of standing offer, which is the agreement between Procurement Australia and the tenderer. Part D, the sub-agreement general conditions of the contract. Part E is the specifications, which will run through all of the categories. Any pre-committed members will be included in that and their specific cleaning requirements. And part F is the returnable schedules, including the schedule of prices, which is the part that as a supplier you will be filling in and returning to us for evaluation. So the returnable schedules runs through 16 schedules. Again, this is to be finalized, but generally this is how it will run. So you'll sign a declaration as a supplier, as a tenderer. We'll ask you to identify the regions and the categories that you can supply to, any contact information, both nationally and state-based, the schedule of prices, which will involve both the member-specific schedules and a general schedule of prices for a standing offer, any relevant experience that you have and the referees to confirm that, existing contracts that you are participating in with regards to cleaning and the supply of cleaning chemicals, your performance and governance, your customer focus, a profile of your corporate social responsibility, evidence of your insurances, evidence of any quality practices that you employ, evidence of your work health and safety standards, proposed contract departures, modern slavery, and then collusive tendering statutory declaration, which will have to be signed and witnessed. The tender process is run by myself, Alistair Hancock. I'm the procurement specialist. My job is to manage the tender event. That will involve answering any questions that you may have during the tender. There will be an open forum throughout the tender that you can ask questions. I will respond to them in a timely manner. To call and close the tender at the appropriate dates, to summarize and evaluate the tender submissions based on your returnable schedule that you send back to me, and to develop a contract award recommendation and award suppliers for this contract. The tender contract responsibilities: to call and receive the tenders, evaluate the tenders. Contract award decision is done by Procurement Australia. The execution of the contract is between Procurement Australia and the successful tenderers. The members will issue purchase orders and receipt and make payments, and the commercial relationships will be managed between the members and the suppliers. Sales reports and rebate payments will be sent to the suppliers, and Procurement Australia itself will monitor the contract performance. The tender timetable: the industry briefing is being held today, as you're all aware, because you're all here. The RFT advertisement dates will be sent out into the Sydney Morning Herald and the Age on the 29th and 30th of March. The tender release will be on the 30th of March and will close on the 27th of April. The contracts will then be awarded on the 30th of June, and the agreement will start on the 1st of September in 2022. Downloading the documents: all documents are available and can be downloaded only via tender link. Documents obtained from any other source will make your tender ineligible. And please carefully follow the instructions in the RFT advertisement for the tender link registration if needed. If any of you are to miss out on that advertisement, then please get in touch with me and I can send that information on to you. All questions in relation to the tender must be submitted via tender link and the online forum. Please don't contact me directly, because we have to be transparent in these questions and these answers. So I will direct you to the forum if you were to ask me. If there are any addenda that need to be issued, they will again be issued via tender link. This might be changes to information that's within the tender documents, or amendments to the end date of the submissions. The last date for questions regarding this is the 16th of February 2022. Tender responses: tenderers must submit all returnable schedules completed and duly signed where required. So that's all of the returnable schedule and the schedule of prices. All stat decks must be signed and witnessed where required. Any relevant marketing collateral that you would want us to take into account when evaluating, and any other information you deem necessary to the award of the tender. Submissions must be uploaded into the tender link portal prior to closing date and time in the following formats: MS Word for tables and text, Excel for pricing schedules and spreadsheets, and Adobe PDF for general information. Submissions lodged by hard copy, email, or alternate electronic means other than those mentioned above will not be considered, and they must be submitted on time. Procurement Australia has an income model, which is a rebate based on sales in accordance with the deed between the suppliers and Procurement Australia. This rebate is still to be determined, but it will be included in the final tender documents. The rebate percentage may differ from category to category as well. Please make sure that you incorporate the rebate into the final financial responses. How to work under this contract. Members generally can be separated into two groups: pre-committed members. These are the ones that we'll be putting into the specifications as member-specific requirements. We had 9 last time round, which, as I said, was a very healthy number. We'll be hoping to get a similar amount, if not more. So they will not have to opt in. This will already be prepared for them and available for them. Outside of that, we have opt-in members. So any member of Procurement Australia can opt into this contract as they see fit at any time during the duration of the contract. Engagement in an invoices process. We sign the contract with the tenderer as a supplier. Once awarded, the member will either opt in or is pre-committed and will raise purchase orders. The supplier delivers the service to the member and invoices the member. The member pays the supplier, and we will then send a report sale, or sorry, you'll send a report sale to Procurement Australia, and we will send you an invoice for the rebate, which you will then pay to PA. Tender hints: make sure you answer each question. Do not state refer to attachment unless it's requested. Clear, articulate responses and demonstrate your expertise are very important. Where requested, use charts and numbers. Please don't use abbreviations, and please do not upload at the last minute. The sooner you upload it, the clearer it is, the better the understanding we have. What's next? Draft specifications are available for review and feedback up until the 16th of February. Please give me an email if you would like a copy. The RFT documents will be available for download from the 30th of March 2022, and you'll need to register on Tenderlink website prior to downloading the RFT. This will all be available in the adverts, but as mentioned before, if you were to miss out on it, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm just going to leave this screen up for 30 seconds or so, but if you need to, you can jot down my details. So again, Alistair Hancock, I'm the procurement specialist in charge of this contract and in charge of running the tender. And I welcome any contact. Please don't hesitate. I'll get back to you in a timely manner with any questions.